How's it going, guys? Today I just wanted to jump on here and kind of go over tracking nutrition, what it looks like, and kind of the pitfalls, challenges, different things like that that you might face when you do use tracking for any type of nutritional stuff. So we'll go through my personal client check-in system that I use. So for my clients, they get all these spreadsheets to track their nutritional data and also some of their assessment data as well. So as you know, a few weeks ago, I started tracking my food because I wanted to do a hypertrophy phase. And in order to get the body to hypertrophy, you have to create an environment for growth, which means I have to feed myself a shit ton, basically. I mean, work out hard and eat a lot of food are the basic rules. So this is my progression so far. I'm roughly 3 weeks into this, a little bit further, 3.5. So we'll go through week by week kind of what happened. This is just the tracking page. So it's important, when I have clients do this, that they track what they're doing so that I can see in real time, because I have access to this as well, what's actually happening and how things are responding. So we track weight every day so we can see how the body's responding. Like we can clearly see when I started this, increase in calories, increase in weight, right? So you can see now my weight started jumping up. Some of this was inflammation. Some of it was the stimulus that I was using as far as shoving carbohydrates into my body for fuel, different things like that. So my main goal was to try to bring my protein up over time. And as you see, I did pretty well for a little while, and then I started to fall off once again. So that's usually where I have to work the hardest. Carbohydrates, I generally eat enough of. Then when I started this, my fat was really high, and over time I've slowly tried to bring that down and make it a little bit more regulated, but you can tell where my cheat days fall usually. I still suck at getting fiber in. That's just what it is. Sleep is hit or miss for me. I'm anywhere from as low as 4 hours, as many as 10. Just depends on the night. Stress, usually below a 5. So I like to use these markers to kind of see if you're really stressed, how is your body responding to the food, different things like that. Energy, how are you feeling when you wake up in the morning usually? How much energy do you have throughout the day? Different stuff like that. And then hunger is also throughout the day. So as you can tell in the beginning, I was pretty hungry. There were some really hungry days. Then as I get more consistent with it, I get less and less hungry. So the way we can tell how well I was doing, because this is just literally the data, right? So what does all this shit mean? We have some goals up here for training days. Trying to hit 3,900 calories, 370 grams of protein, 432 grams of carbs, 83 grams of fat. If we look down here, I didn't come close to that ever. Carbs, maybe get close once in a while. Protein, I've nowhere even been in the ballpark. 218 is the high, I think. So, and fat, I will generally be over on. So these are hypothetical, like perfect ideal goals. These are what we're shooting for. It's not a requirement to get them every day. Clearly, I have yet to even do that. Then we have rest day goals. So stuff that will allow us to take a break from having to eat as much and still allow us to grow. So under our weekly reports, this is how we'll stack up against previous versions of what we were doing or previous goals. So the first week, I was trying to hit 3,400 calories on my days that I was working out, 26 on off days. Protein was between 217 and 297. I averaged 170. Absolutely terrible. My carbohydrates were okay. I was over on fat. So my goal for week 2 was to increase the protein and decrease the fat. So we went here. Went to this one. The calories increased a little bit. Overall, the average protein decreased. The average carbohydrate decreased as well. And fat went up. So overall, this was a pretty terrible week. I graded myself a B. This actually should be a C because we decreased. So we come in here once a week, look over everything, grade ourselves. We can also upload progress photos. I'm not good about that. Same with measurements you can do as well as give us our averages. So during the first week, average weight was 214. Second week ended up being 213. So lost a little bit of weight from week 1 to week 2. My average stress was around a 3.7, average 7 hours of sleep. Energy was about an 8 usually. Hunger was about a 5.5. Following week, bumped the calories up again. Protein went up. Carbohydrates went up. Fat went down. So this was overall a good week. Notice my weight went down again. So trying to eat more food in bulk, and I'm losing weight. So that's helps dispel the myth of eating more will make you fat, right? So that was my 3rd week. We are now amongst my 4th week, and I am doing worse than I was. The fat is staying low, so that's good. The carbohydrates are pretty high. Protein, I need to be able to try to get up for the next few days, right? So we're sticking right around 180 where we were. So these tables allow us to see average trends and allow us to make adjustments for the long term. So, my goals of 280 grams of protein to 370 grams of protein are way far off with just the food that I'm eating. So I may want to look for supplementation and different things like that. But this is just some insight into tracking and how we can utilize data, and also look at what you get as far as tracking nutrition with me. So any questions, feel free to always shoot me a DM.